In the sprawling, neon-lit metropolis of Shanghai in 2022, a city teetering between its traditional roots and ultra-modern ambitions, the police department is facing a troubling trend, a spike in crimes involving teenagers. Gangs, cyberbullying, underground gambling, and mental health crises have all been on the rise, causing public concern and bureaucratic panic. The city's elite educational institutions, long considered immune to such problems, are now under scrutiny. When the lifeless body of Lu Wei, a promising student from the renowned Huadong Secondary School, is discovered stuffed inside a supply closet during a routine janitorial inspection, the shockwave is immediate. The incident is brutal and mysterious. Lu's neck shows signs of strangulation, but there are no fingerprints, no camera footage, and no struggle. Worse still, the area had been locked from the inside. The press runs wild with theories, from secret cults to high school hazing gone wrong. What makes the case even more politically volatile is Lu's background. He's the only son of Lu Donghai, a prominent business tycoon with deep connections to Shanghai's municipal council. The city's top brass demands answers, and fast. That's when the Shanghai Police Bureau assigns Detective CHEN Wei to the case. Freshly promoted to sergeant, CHEN is a divisive figure within the department. At just 26, he's one of the youngest officers to receive a promotion, known for his razor-sharp instincts and gut-driven style of investigation. But he's also notorious for his disregard for protocol, his clashes with senior officers, and his outright disdain for formal education. A college dropout who barely made it through police academy, CHEN has always viewed classrooms as prisons of the mind. Ironic, given his next assignment. CHEN is hand-picked for an undercover operation. Infiltrate Huadong Secondary as a fake transfer student to investigate Lu Wei's murder from the inside. The idea is unorthodox, risky, and almost laughable, but also potentially effective. With no forensic leads and tight-lipped witnesses, the department needs someone who can earn the trust of students and observe their behavior up close. CHEN, despite his rough edges, is deemed the perfect candidate. He adopts a new identity, Zhao Ming, a soft-spoken 18-year-old who has just returned from studying in Canada. His cover story is carefully crafted: average intelligence, decent Mandarin, and an interest in basketball. The hope is that Zhao's outsider status will provoke curiosity, lower defenses, and possibly unearth information through gossip and candid slips. Yet, CHEN's disdain for academic life becomes an immediate obstacle. On his very first day, he's overwhelmed by the rigid schedule, arcane testing methods, and suffocating decorum. Posing as a senior in Class 3B, he quickly draws the ire of Ms. Jiang, a no-nonsense homeroom teacher with a reputation for turning struggling students into top scorers. Jiang instantly pegs CHEN as lazy and disrespectful, often singling him out in class. Their dynamic becomes a recurring source of tension and reluctant respect as she challenges his assumptions about authority and discipline. CHEN is also assigned to the dormitories, an experience he finds especially awkward. His roommate, Lin Hao, is a soft-spoken, introspective boy with a passion for watercolor painting and classical music. Lin barely talks, preferring to keep his thoughts and emotions buried beneath layers of politeness and quiet sadness. Rumors swirl around Lin. Some say he was Lu Wei's best friend, others whisper darker stories. But Lin neither confirms nor denies anything. His silence speaks volumes, and CHEN's instincts tell him that Lin is guarding something painful. The culture of silence. As the days stretch into weeks, CHEN slowly adjusts to his fabricated life. He endures awkward lunches in the canteen, boring lectures, and late-night cram sessions he has no intention of participating in. But beneath the surface of student life, he begins to see the rot that pervades Huadong. On the surface, it's a school of excellence, immaculate uniforms, spotless hallways, award-winning science labs. But scratch just beneath, and a different picture emerges: students suffering from extreme anxiety, competition so fierce it borders on toxic, and teachers turning blind eyes to bullying, cheating, and emotional breakdowns. CHEN keeps a mental ledger of personalities and dynamics. There's Zhang Rui, the charismatic school vice president who seems helpful but too polished. There's Fang Yan, a wealthy but volatile girl who once dated Lu Wei and now walks around with a chip on her shoulder. There's also Qiao Jia, a scholarship student who is constantly overlooked but watches everything from the shadows. Every interaction peels back a layer of Lu Wei's carefully crafted reputation. Official files portray him as a model student, valedictorian material, science prodigy, community volunteer. But the students describe someone very different: arrogant, cruel, and calculating. Lu reportedly had a habit of digging up secrets and using them as leverage. He allegedly ran an anonymous gossip blog exposing fellow students and even staff members. Some claim he helped certain students cheat on exams only to later blackmail them for favors or money. Others whisper about his inappropriate relationship with Ms. Bai, a young and attractive substitute teacher who vanished from campus days before Lu's body was found. Her absence is officially chalked up to personal leave, but no one has heard from her since. When CHEN tries to dig deeper, the obstacles multiply. Lu's locker is suspiciously empty, and the school's surveillance footage for the week of the murder is mysteriously corrupted. Staff members brush off his inquiries, often reminding him that he's just a student and should focus on his studies. Even his brief check-in calls with his real superior, Captain Wu, are discouraging. Wu warns him that the case is politically sensitive and must be handled with extreme care. This isn't just about a dead student, Wu says grimly. You're treading on powerful ground. One misstep and they'll bury you too. Blurred lines. Despite Wu's warnings, CHEN finds himself increasingly immersed in the lives of the students. What starts as detachment slowly transforms into reluctant empathy. He sees their pain, their desperation, and the way their futures are shackled to academic performance. More than once, he finds students crying alone in bathrooms, engaging in dangerous stimulants to stay awake, or self-harming under the pressure. The facade of Huadong's success is built on quiet suffering. His bond with Lin Hao deepens. Lin begins to trust him, if only in fragments. Late-night conversations reveal that Lu Wei often humiliated Lin in private, forcing him to do his homework, threatening to leak personal diary entries, and even spreading rumors about his sexuality. Lin, though gentle, had become a punching bag for Lu's power games. When CHEN asks if Lin ever confronted Lu, Lin hesitates and says only, "I wanted to. But I knew what would happen if I did." There's guilt in his voice, guilt that lingers like smoke in every interaction. CHEN starts to wonder if Lin knows more than he's saying. But rather than press too hard, CHEN takes a different route: friendship. He begins attending Lin's art club meetings, playing piano duets with him in the music room, and defending him from snide classmates. For the first time in years, CHEN starts to care not just about solving a case, but about protecting someone vulnerable. Yet, the more he cares, the more complicated his role becomes. He's no longer sure where Zhao Ming ends and Detective CHEN begins. His notes, once clinical, are now emotionally charged. His priorities blur. And still, no concrete evidence emerges, no murder weapon, no confession, no clear timeline. But something is coming. The pressure is building. Secrets are beginning to unravel. And CHEN can feel it in his bones. Someone in that school knows the truth. Someone is watching him. And they're not happy he's there.